Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Project Ozone. So, since the last episode, I have done a little bit of work. First up, if we pop over to Ceres. I finished putting rings. That's actually just not loaded in yet. But I finished putting the rings in and everything. I haven't done the flooring, all the flooring just yet. So eventually these will be, they'll be hollow through this center section, or, the section I'm looking at right now. And then we'll have kind of a pole running through it, like a decorative pole, more or less. And then over here, I did go ahead and set up a mess. Looks like. I swear, I think every episode when we start, we're going to have a mess on our hands. I think that's how we're going to start every single episode here on out. It seems to be Era's. I don't know why that's not, Oh, you know what it is? What I think it is? Oh, just a little mistake on my part. Let me grab this. And let me grab that, and let me just plug up that crafter. There we go. Now it's working. That was my bad. I forgot to plug power up to that. And, yeah, it got all backed up. But anyways, I did get a Yellorium farm put in because we are going to need Yellorium to keep our turbines running. I mean, right now we're still good on Yellorium. If I take a look here, we have 1.1 million, but I figured I need to go ahead and get that running, get that Yellorium farm up and going, make sure that we have Yellorium being produced. So, I did get that, and I went ahead and set up, the dirt for additional farms. I haven't actually got additional farms put in yet. And if we take a look here, we are up to a whopping 432,000 nether stars at the moment, which I actually used a fair few, not a ton, but a few, since the last episode. Also, if we pop over to Venus and we head upstairs, I made energy condensers. I was about to say alchemical chests. Made energy condensers, and this is actually all that we're going to need for this setup. Okay, we're still going to need a couple for automation within our, our primary system, but that's fine. But energy condensers, there is 33 of them altogether throughout here. And then I made up as many neutronium compressors as I could. These things are expensive, mainly due to the neutronium ingots. We've got them being produced, and it's a fairly decent rate. However, each one of these takes about 2 stacks of neutronium ingots. So, I was able to make, what is this, 12 total, including the one that we already had. If we take a look here, I have 69 neutronium ingots right now. Pretty much annihilated our stockpile of those. But we got a few crafted. So we're on the right track there. It takes a little bit. What I'm probably going to do maybe is expand this. I think right now we have like 66 neutron collectors. I think I'm going to add like another row of 66-ish or whatever. It'll be a little bit shorter or a little bit lower, like by 2 or something like that, or 4, because it won't be able to come out as far. But maybe do like another row and see how that does, because we're actually going to need a lot of those neutron ingots. Now eventually we'll be able to get neutronium blocks with wand of animation, all of that good stuff. But for right now, yeah, we'll need more neutron ingots. So for the time being, because getting all this automation and stuff set up for the singularities, it's a little bit expensive. I also did some work on, the space station. That is one place I spent a little bit of time working. I think you guys are going to like this. I also spent some time working on the asteroid belts and on Mars a little bit. I pretty much was just hopping around bases doing little odd and end things a lot. But if we take a step outside, this isn't totally finished, but all the rockets are in place now. So you can see we have our tier 1. That was our little baby starting rocket. Tier 2, tier 3. You can kind of think of this as the museum of our space travels, so to speak. Then we have a tier 4, a tier 5. Let me actually hit F1 here. There's our tier 6, our tier 7, our tier 8, 9. This is when they start getting big, and then 10 over here. And our tier 10 actually has the fuel setup and everything. Oh, I just got knocked off that. It actually has the full fuel setup. Oh, I'll never be able to get down. Ah. Okay. Okay. Anyways, it has the full fuel setup, so it stays fueled. So if we do take it out, you know, because there's still a few planets we have not explored as of yet. If we do take it out, we can just bring it back, set it down, and it'll get fueled back up. So, but yeah, I think that's the main things that I was working on. But let's pop on back over to the overworld. And today what I want to do is I want to start off by setting up our bedrock dimension. Okay? And it's surprising how cheap bedrockium is. Now, I haven't actually checked. I'm not for sure. Do we have a bedrock dimlet? Oh, I'm starting to think that we do not. I mean, let me pop over to the space station, because technically, when we can make the dimlet, I mean, if we can't make it, that's fine. It's not a big concern because we have tons of nether stars. But bedrockium would be nice. We've got 16 octuple compressed. It's not going to be enough for what we need. By any stretch of the imagination. Because each block of bedrockium, if we were to run it through, say, a magma crucible, we get a little over a bucket. Okay? And if we were to use the absorbers from RF Tools to try to make that, let's see, it would be right here, the liquid absorber. This would require, I believe the absorbers require like double, for like blocks and liquids they require like, it's like 200 of them. So 200 buckets of bedrockium, you know, we're going to need like 150 blocks of bedrockium. So that, no, we can't do that right now. It doesn't look like, unless, I was kind of just banking on that I had it. I mean, technically, 43 million I could make the bedrockium. That's an option. And I tell you what, yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to go for it. This is pretty crazy, but we're going to go for it. So let's get all of our octuple compressed. And let's pop over to the overworld. And there's a few things that we're going to need for this. And this is going to be like the most expensive thing ever. Like, hands down, it's just crazy expensive. First up, what we're going to need to do is get our bedrockium made. And we'll go ahead and get this stuff smelted. Let me go ahead and grab this. I'm going to put this into here. Say, make us bedrockium. There we go. And then I'm also going to want, I'm thinking I'll probably do it with a magma crucible. So let me get, and it may not take as much as I'm expecting. I don't generally do liquid absorbers. You know, usually whenever I do absorbers, it's like block absorbers or something. So it may not be that bad. It may not be 200 buckets of bedrockium, but we're going to shoot for it. Alright, so there is our magma crucible. And let's see. We are going to want a fluid transposer as well. Honestly, I might still have those old ones lying around. Magma crucible. Cool. Well, I don't have the fluid transposer. I have the magma crucible, so. Well, okay. I tell you what, we're just going to tap into this power right here for right now. That's fine. So we'll just plug that up right there. And let me go get our bedrockium. Well, we have at least 16 blocks of it at the moment. And we'll just dump that into there. It's going to start running and producing our molten bedrockium. So I'm going to have to get a fluid transposer. That's fine. Not a big deal. Okay, there we go. We had pretty much everything made, so it wasn't a big deal. And we'll just set this down right there. And we'll go ahead and get that stuff. Okay, so now we can get our buckets of molten bedrockium. Alright, and we're going to need a bunch of this, so let me go ahead and get, I guess, let's see what happens if I was to fill up my inventory with nether stars. I will say that once this is done, it's going to be totally worth it, but it's going to be expensive to make it. Okay. Luckily, the power cost isn't all that high. Oh, wow. That's actually not that bad. We got 4 blocks for filling our inventory up with nether stars. You know, I've got tons of nether stars. It's not really a big problem. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to want is going to be an absorber. And we are going to want the liquid absorber. Okay, there's that. And I'm going to want a machine frame. Okay, whenever I crafted the machine frame, it crashed me. But anyways, it crafted. So there is our liquid absorber. And we'll probably automate this, I imagine. I mean, I guess technically I could have just pumped out the liquid from the crucible and then sent it to like a fluid gate and then done it that way. That's fine. But I think what we're going to do is we'll set up our liquid absorber like right down here. And let me try this. Let me go ahead and make sure and set it and everything. So there we go. And that is, okay, that's 0% at the moment. Awesome. I just want to see how much it's going to take to get 1%. Okay. Yeah, so it is going to take like 200 buckets of molten bedrockium to get that liquid absorber. So, that's fine. That's okay. So I'll tell you what. We had a, right here, floodgate. Let's go ahead and grab this thing. And we'll just set it up like right here. I think that would work. I think it will eject to the side of it, if I recall correctly. And let's get just a bit of cobblestone to kind of block this in. Basically, I want it to dump its liquid over here and only over here. So let's just do like that. And then, actually, let me open that up. Okay, and let's get ourselves some conduits. We're going to go with pressurized fluid. That's fine. But anyways, we're going to change the output of this just to the left side then. And then we'll just connect that up. And we'll say that you can extract. Okay, so this one right here, I'm going to have to, I guess, manual fill these buckets. Okay, and there's 8 blocks of bedrockium. I'm getting a lot of TPS lag. I may relog, or I'll tell you what, I may pop over to a different dimension. Generally, that seems to help. Like, if it's mainly in the overworld that I've noticed the lag, honestly. Let's see, is this, I don't think it's actually getting that. Or at least it's not making its way down here. You know, I'm almost thinking this floodgate will not output molten bedrockium. Okay. Well, then I'll tell you what we're going to do. Instead, let me grab that. And let me pop over to, like, Eris real quick and see if this TPS lag gets better. Because sometimes whenever it starts up, I get that lag, and then sometimes I don't. So, I don't know. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to get a resonant portable tank. I mean, since the fluid gate's not going to work, I'll just do it manual. Okay, yeah, let me relog, because this TPS lag's pretty bad at the moment. So I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, so interesting little bug, I guess, or maybe it's intended. But if you try to get a bucket of molten bedrockium, it devours the bucket. So, yeah. We are going to not do this then. So let's go ahead and break that off. And we're going to output our fluids to the fluid transposer then instead. And for right now, I'll just, let's see, let me extract from this. And we'll say you can insert from there. Okay. So we are going to have to use buckets. There doesn't really seem to be any way around that. Now I could automate it with dispensers. I don't know if I want to do that or just do manual. I mean, if you notice right now it's already at 14%. That was just getting the buckets out of this fluid transposer. So I think what I'm going to do is just say that, like, you can output on the red side, and then let's just get a chest. And we'll put that right there. And then I'll just get like a half stack of buckets. Okay. So then it's going to output the buckets over here, and then we can just grab them. Well, I don't know what is going on with this. Like, it's acting up so much right now. Maybe I can only dump it if I pull the buckets out of the fluid transposer. I feel like it's all sorts of bugged. Like, it's not behaving like it's supposed to or something. I don't know. I have no clue what's going on. Why is it doing this? Huh. Okay, let me get some more bedrockium. Okay, yeah, see, it's trying to, like, stack these or something. Because it just ran through, all, like, a ton of those buckets, but only actually made one bucket. Okay, I have no clue what's going on. Let me do it one bucket at a time, because this is all... I mean, I just wasted a ton of bedrockium trying to get this to work. Like, I don't know how I got those first stars, or those first bits of bedrockium. Like, they didn't act up at all. But then, when I started doing it with these, it's like, no, we're not gonna let you do this. What in the world? Why is it doing this? I'm trying to figure out exactly what I did that was any different the second time. No clue what it could be, though, because I really haven't changed anything. Like, this is how it was set up before. Unless maybe it has to do with where I'm trying to dump the buckets. Maybe? Like, let's see. If I was to go over here and grab, like, a bucket of this water. Okay, I can move water just fine. I'm going to assume that maybe it has something to do with where that liquid absorber is placed. Perhaps. And instead, then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up, like, I don't know, right here, let's say. I don't know, it still does it. I have no clue. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, let's try it with a dispenser, then. We're going to try this. And let's get a few buckets. We'll say a half stack. Or no, well, maybe that'll be okay. And let's get, like, I don't need nearly that many item conduits, but that's alright. Let me get a filter. Okay. And we'll say that you can input on the bottom. And we'll do an item conduit. Let me break this off temporarily. We'll say that you can insert, and then over here we'll say that you can extract with a filter and only empty buckets. And then what we'll do is we'll say you can also insert on brown. You are going to extract right there. And then we'll just connect this up, say brown. Okay. So now if I was to dump in, say, a bucket, it's going to get filled, it's going to get sent to the dispenser. Right? No, what is going on with this? Like, it's all sorts of broken. I don't understand. Okay. Put a redstone clock on top of the dispenser. What in the world? It just has infinite buckets. What is going on with this? Like, it is literally dumping infinite buckets of molten bedrockium. Oh my god. Okay, this is a bit of a bug. But I tell you what, considering that I cannot seem to get this to work any other way at the moment, I'm gonna abuse this bug. Because I have tried everything, like, and normally, I mean, this dispenser should place it down as liquid, right? But it's not. It's throwing out just infinite buckets of molten bedrockium. I mean, honestly, you could abuse this so much if you wanted to. For, like, infinite bedrockium with the magic dispenser of bedrockium buckets. Like, I'm assuming that I could then take these and put them through a fluid transposer. Put it on fill. Look at this. What is going on here? What in the world? Okay, I'm just going to get my liquid absorber and just... Oh my god. Oh my god, this is terrible. I don't understand it. Okay, well, anyways, we have 100% liquid molten bedrockium liquid absorber. And I don't know how many of those, like, how much bedrockium I threw away trying to get that thing to work. But just for good measure, I'm going to dump in, I don't know, another batch of nether stars. I don't know. I would worry more about it if I wasn't producing just infinite nether stars at the moment, but where did my bow go? I swear this bow ends up in here all the time. Okay, there's 13 bedrockium. I'll just dump that into the void. Oops. There we go. Goodbye. And I'm just going to call it even. Since that thing just refused to work at all. So anyways, let's go ahead and pop on over now to our dimlet workbench. And what I want is I want this right here. We're going to put this into the fluid slot, and then we are going to need a circuit rarity of 4. So let's see what we can find that is a rarity of 4. Generally the best place, of course, to look for those is like effects. And then if not that, then like liquids and blocks and stuff like that. Okay, liquid essence. We have a bunch of those. They're rarity 4s. So let's go ahead and we'll throw these into there. Let's say extract. There's our rarity 4 dimlet piece. Our advanced energy. Our advanced memory. Liquid type controller. And then the dimlet base part. And there is our liquid molten bedrockium dimlet. Now you will notice the cost on this is only 100,000, so it's actually not that expensive compared to some of the other dimensions that we've created in the past. But let's go ahead and grab that, and then we're also going to need some kind of a feature dimlet. Okay, and here's what we're going to go with. We're going to go with our liquid molten bedrockium dimlet, and then we're going to go with a terrain dimlet. Instead of a feature, we'll go with terrain, and that is a liquid dimlet. Okay, that's going to make, basically all the terrain is going to be liquid. And then we're going to go with effect mining fatigue 3 just to get our maintain cost down. And let's go check out this dimlet real quick. And let's also call it, we'll call it liquid bedrock. Okay? Okay, and it just got finished. You can see that our maintenance cost is 148,000 RF per tick. And we are good to go. So let's go ahead and pop on through. And here we go. So hopefully we're going to have lots of liquid bedrock. Yes. You can see it actually spawned us inside of a house with this one. But you can see that it's nothing but molten bedrock. And then there's a little bit of oil over there, but... hopefully that doesn't become an issue. You know, there's more oil there. That should be okay. We should be alright. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up our endothermic pump. We'll just put it right here. That's fine. And then let's go ahead and set down. I've noticed I'm getting really bad lag here. Like FPS lag. I think it's trying to load up all this liquid. But we'll put our chunk loader right there. We'll say keep 4 chunks loaded. Okay, that is fine. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put our ender tank down right there, and our quantum entangleporter we'll put right here. We're going to say this is what is it? Extra power, I think. There we go. Okay, it has to be touching that. My bad. And yeah, there's where it started. So it's replacing that molten bedrockium with stone. And we've frozen, it looks like. I don't know what's going on. Okay, for some reason it removed, after the crash, it had removed my endothermic pump and put them back in my inventory. So, let's try this again. This may just not be stable to try to run this, I don't know. Let's quickly pop over to the overworld. And hopefully this works. Hopefully it'll be okay. Maybe if I just don't go into the dimension or even think about it, it'll be alright. Okay. Anyways, since that's set up, and we should be... I mean, the chunk loader and everything was still there. Let me go put up these dimlets. I was looking at a few dimlets and stuff, what I wanted to do with that, but I'm happy with what we ended up going with. But anyways, now that that's running, the next thing that we're going to need is going to be a caster. Okay, and we're going to go with the auto caster from Thermal Smeltery. So let's just get that. I might end up making 2 of these. I'm not for sure. One caster is probably going to be enough, but I'm not for sure just yet. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and just pull up like one of these casting basins that are over here. That'll be fine. Because before long, I'm not even going to have those over here anymore. So we'll get that. There's our autocaster. And then let's pop over to Venus to actually set this up. And we'll probably do a deep storage unit for this as well. So, alright, we're going to set this up like right here, I think. And all it's going to be is, it's going to be a very, very simple setup. Autocaster right there. And we're going to have it toggled to blocks. And then let me get the connection, one of our power connections here. Let me grab this. And we'll grab one of these. I'm not sure which ones. There we go. Device linked. It's got power. Wonderful. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to put our ender tank right there. Set it to output, and there we go. It's producing blocks. Now I'm also going to want some augments for this, so let's go ahead and order those. And so if we take a look here at thermal expansion, we are going to want right here the reception coil, space-time flux unifier, and all that mess. So let's just get one of those, and then we'll get, oh, what am I missing here? Pyrotheum. And I'm also going to need redstone reception coils. So let me get some red alloy. Just order a bit of that. Honestly, I probably should have ordered even more than that, but that's okay. And it did that wireless out of range crap. Where like it, for some reason, it does that sometimes. It will dump my wireless card out. And I'll have to like warp back over here to put it back in. Drives me insane. I don't know why it does that. Okay, so there's that one, and then there is that one. Awesome. And let's head back over to Venus now. And then what we'll do is we'll just throw those into there. Oops. There's that. There's that. There's that. So it's producing blocks for us at a fairly decent rate. Now, before, you know, we were using nether stars for all of our EMC. And if you take a look at nether stars, there they are, 147,000 EMC, right? Well, bedrockium is 43 million EMC per block. So let's go ahead and grab that. We're going to go set up a deep storage unit real quick. So let's pop over to Saturn. And it seems like that dimension is fine now that I've gotten out of there. But trying to get out of there, like, FPS got bad, and then, of course, it crashed, and I don't know what happened right there. But let's head to blocks and plants. I guess this is where we'll put our bedrockium. Seems fitting anyways. Let's order a deep storage unit. And then I'm also going to want a storage bus. Oh, I got a piece of red smart cable that I didn't need, but that's fine. Okay, so we'll put our deep storage unit right there, and we'll throw our bedrockium in there and lock it in. And storage bus right there. Ta-da! That's done. Very, very simple to add new stuff to this. I love it. So now if we pop back over to Venus, what I'm probably going to do then is just have the autocaster pump out, I guess, to an ender chest. Would be fine. I hate the sound of those things. I cannot stand it. But let's set up our configuration, and we're going to say that the left side is going to be output. And let me just get an ender chest real quick. There we go. And does it not auto output? Okay, it is. Just taking it a minute. Okay, so now if we take a look here and we look up bedrockium, there we go. We've got bedrockium. And so technically, I mean, I could make bedrock a lot easier now that I've got that stuff being produced. Oh, yeah, duh. I changed the configuration so it wasn't inputting bedrockium. My bad. But anyways, I mean, you can see that it's producing bedrockium at a fairly fast rate. Now, technically, what I could do is make this even faster by adding additional autocasters. But honestly, I mean, it's making like one every 3 seconds, something like that. And we have pretty much an infinite world of nothing but bedrockium. I mean, there may come a time where we have to move the endothermic pump. But if you noticed on that dimension, I know I couldn't stay there very long because it was just, it didn't seem very stable. But on that dimension, where we spawned in at was like Y130. So, and pretty much all the way down to bedrock was nothing but liquid bedrockium. Now, the only thing I'll have to keep an eye out for is there's a chance I might end up with a little bit of oil in this. If that happens, if that comes up, what I could do is have it sent over to like the sorting system on Pluto and then have the molten bedrockium pumped into a buffer there and then pumped out. Or what I'll probably do, honestly, is just do a fluid trash can, like right here, and have just a, you know, if we end up getting oil in here, then I'll just filter all the oil into a fluid trash can and be done with it. Because I really don't care about that. I don't need it. And I pretty much have all that I could see needing. But anyways, we're up to about 140 bedrockium blocks now. And if I was to, for example, tell you what, we're actually going to start setting up this segment here now. And what we're going to do is we're going to automate singularities today. Fun stuff. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick test run. And so if I was to take a block of bedrockium, for example, and I threw this into this chest, it makes a ton of iron. And we're going to let that run through, and we're going to see roughly how many singularities that one block of bedrockium makes. Okay? It's not, automating this is not going to be an exact process because, you know, I can't say send this 49,626 blocks of iron because I can't, it's not even possible for me to put that into a recipe. And, you know, I can't say, well, that actually did not even make a singularity. A single block of bedrockium. Now, it's also possible, I guess, that maybe this is too much. But, no, actually, that's probably about right. Nether stars, it's 147. Normally, I send, like, a bunch of stacks into here to make a singularity. So, bedrockium is probably about 2 or 3 pieces to make a singularity. So, it's not really all that bad, considering we got that stuff automated. So, what I'm probably going to do is say 3 blocks of bedrockium makes an iron singularity. Okay, now there's a chance in, you know, some situations where we may end up with 2 of them, you know, who knows, but that's not really an issue. Now, one thing that is possible is it could be, yeah, I know it was brought up in the comments that this could be jamming up. Oh, no, there it goes. It seems to be running fine, it's just like staying capped out. Like this isn't displaying correctly, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's making what it needs to. So, but it looks like we did get our first iron singularity. We did. Okay, now let's check. If I was to just give this, man, this is producing bedrockium so fast. If I just gave this 3 blocks of bedrockium just straight up, would it make a singularity? Looks like it's going to. Yeah. So there's a singularity, and let's see kind of where we get to, because it was at like 7 or 8,000 or something like that. Okay, so 3 blocks of bedrockium does a little bit over a singularity. So then what we're going to do is let's get... Oh, whoops, I don't know where I just teleported to. Okay, so let's get ourselves like, I don't know, 10 interfaces. That'll be fine. There we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set up a recipe here. And keep in mind, all the singularities pump into like a central location. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change these over to flat interfaces. And then what we'll do is on the back of the energy condensers, we'll put an interface down, and let me actually get... I'll tell you what, let's go make a recipe. We've got 4 iron singularities, that's great. And what we're going to do is we're going to say that if you give us 3... Let me change this to processing. If you give us 3 blocks of bedrockium, then you are going to get 1 iron singularity. Now, like I said, there's a chance that it could make 2. But, I mean, as long as you're making 1, that's fine. You know, at the end of the day, if the math's not 100% correct and you get some bonus output, what's the harm in that, right? Like, all it means is it's going to not have to order 1 the next time it needs 1. So there's really no downside to that. So let's go ahead and pop back over to Venus. And I'm going to have to do a P2P line. This is pretty much going to have its own designated cable line that comes over. That's only using 2 channels. Okay, yeah, we're going to actually use this orange line. Or yellow. Yeah, we're going to use this yellow line. Because right now it's only using 2 channels. I mean, I may use some more channels over here, but there's some other stuff that I can automate that doesn't need channels. I can put over there. That's fine. Because I'm going to need a full dense line and then a partial to do all of this. Because it's basically, it's 34 setups. You know, 33 of these are making singularities to cover all 33 different singularities that we're going to need to make. The last one is doing infinity stars, which is going to require both an output and a... oh, I can never think of the name of it. The signal level emitter. That's what I'm trying to think of. We're going to need a level emitter and an export. And so that one's going to take 2. So altogether we're going to need 35 channels for our singularity setup. But anyways, let's go ahead and put this recipe into here. And then I'm going to grab... Actually, you know what? I may just use the yellow channel to connect over to the back side of this and get the last like few that we need. And I'll just make a fresh channel that starts like right here. Okay. So let me get... no, actually, I'm not even going to use the P2P. We're going to go with a black line. And then we'll just bring this out from like right here. Because really, I'm just going to run the channel straight in. I'm not going to need to P2P them over, because it's not going to matter for these. And we'll just bring the black line over. And I tell you what, let me actually bring it. The dense line is going to run up along through here, I think. Just like that. And then let's pop over to Eris real quick. Just so that we can plug a black line into... that quantum ring setup. So this is the normal connection, this Fluix line that comes over. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring a black line out, and then we'll connect it right into this side right here. And it's just going to come along like that. Oh wait, what's it? Okay, I just had like a major derp. I'm going to have to P2P it, because I can only run like 1 channel through a quantum ring, so I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, well let's get like 2 P2P tunnels, and we'll get a little bit of smart cable as well. Okay, so the black line, we're gonna have it come out right here. That's fine. P2P goes right there, and then we're gonna grab that connection. That, and then we'll just plug in a piece of our Fluix smart cable, and then all we have to do now is pop over to Venus, and we'll pull that black line out of our P2P and then just run it up over into this connection, right? So we'll have our Fluix line come out like right here. It's going to come over to here, and then we'll do our P2P load those settings, dense block cable, and there we go. That is done. And now all we got to do is then just take our black smart cable and plug it into our interface. And I guess we'll just bring it up. That's fine. And if we give this just a second, we should see our channel show up here. There it is. And if we take a look now at Singularities, we can craft one. So let's order one iron singularity. And you can see that it's going to start running and pumping that iron out into our neutronium compressor. And it is, you know, it's going to take it a little bit, which is fine. I'm going to end up setting these up to keep, like, say 10 or 15 of every singularity at all times. Keep all those crafted, and once we have all of them set up and everything. So anyways, while that's crafting, let's go ahead and get ourselves some translocators. And I'm going to need a bit of pistons, so let me order, give me 100 pistons. And then I'm going to want translocators. I'm also going to need red alloy. And I tell you what, let me order, give me 4,000 red alloy. I'm sick and tired of having to make it. There we go, it's starting to pour in. And let's get ourselves a few of these translocators. 30 for right now, that sounds good. And then we'll get just a bit of glowstone. Okay. And then all we're going to do is we're just going to put translocators on each of these. Bam, 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 bam. Just all the way down the line here. All the ones that we have set up anyways. Just like that. And then these last ones, I'm just going to put these onto here. They're not going to be set up yet, but that's fine. Okay. Alright. And then as far as the ones that are set up, let's go ahead and just put some glowstone on each of these. So just like that. And just bear in mind, glowstone causes them to run faster. You know, instead of moving like, I think it's one item at a time. Even at one item at a time, I mean, translocators, they do move items super fast. But glowstone bumps it up. I believe it bumps it up to like a stack. Either that or it's like the speed of it is faster. Anyways, it's faster. You know, it's one of those things I just put on there. If I want speed, I just put it on there without thinking. You know. Okay, so all of those are set. They're all feeding into the neutronium compressors. And by the way, this one got done running, so let's take a look. Did we get a singularity? We did. Okay, so now we can order iron singularities. Awesome. Good stuff. Okay, so if we take a look at the quest book, we're going to follow the quest book for our next singularities that we need to set up. And if we take a look at next up is golden singularities. These require 46,000 blocks of gold. Okay, now the difference between iron and gold EMC value is quite substantial, actually. Gold is close to 9 times as much as iron. So that's something that we're going to have to take into consideration. Okay? So what we're going to do is this energy condenser, we're going to set this one up to make blocks of gold. And let's throw in, let's start with 3 blocks of bedrock. And we'll let that run and see how close we get to our singularity. 7,000. Okay? So let's go with 6, 9, 10. Okay, 10 blocks of bedrock. And we're about halfway. So then let's go with 20 blocks of bedrock. Okay, so 20 blocks of bedrock makes a golden singularity with just a little bit left over. Very, very expensive. So let's pop over then, and we're going to make our next recipe here. We'll pop over to Eris. I still need to set up a terminal here, but at the same time, now that I have instant teleportation, it's kind of like, like, it's not as big of a deal, I guess. So 20 blocks of bedrockium makes you 1 golden singularity. That is very expensive. Oh my gosh. And I just noticed that my oxygen is pretty well out at the moment. So we'll go ahead and fix that. And then let's pop back over to Venus and we'll put in our recipe. And we actually have a quest completed now. We get a reward bag and a compact giant chance cube. Woot. But the nice thing is now, you know, gold, iron, we're not going to have to manual craft these singularities ever again. You know, it's put in the system and everyone's happy. So we'll throw that interface on there. We're going to go ahead and throw in our recipe. And then all we have to do is just grab our smart cable and just plug that in. And if we take a look here, golden singularity. Great. Easy as pie. And really, I guess I don't need these signs on here. Since we're not manual crafting these, I really don't need them. To be perfectly honest, they're not needed at the moment. Let's go ahead and open up our reward bag. We got 2 printed circuit boards. You're gonna like this reward. Well, funny story. I don't. Okay, now next up they want us to make a quartz singularity. This requires blocks of quartz. Now these actually have a very low EMC value. Lower than iron. So let's get a block of quartz. There we go. And we'll set that into there. And then let's just grab, honestly, probably 2 blocks of bedrockium. If even that. Should make it. So if I throw in like 1 block of bedrockium, just going to start running that neutronium compressor. Setting these up takes a while. I'm not going to do all these on camera. I'm just kind of running through like the process a couple times just so you guys see, and then I can go through and set up all of these. Well, I'll be waiting on neutronium. How much do I have now? Still not even enough to make another compressor. Terrible. Okay, so 1 block of bedrockium almost makes a quartz singularity. Okay, so it is going to require 2 of them, but every other one's going to be like a double. So there is our nether quartz singularity. And by the way, I'm going to go ahead and set this to auto extract. And then we've also got one right here that needs to be set to auto extract. So we'll go ahead and grab our item conduits and just set this up real quick. So now the gold and the quartz can auto extract for us. We almost have 1,000 blocks of bedrockium though, so that's good. But we're going to say 2 blocks of bedrockium. That makes us our nether quartz singularity. Encode that. And then we'll go set this up real quick. And I mean, that's pretty much the process I'm going to have to go through, is basically just figuring out the exact math on each of these for setting them up. Or, well, not the exact math, but, you know, just kind of a rough estimate that we can use and then go with that, basically. Basically, that's all we got to do. So, put that down right there, and then we'll just plug it in. Bring that up a little bit. And we'll throw our recipe into there, and there we go. Quartz is now set up. And so now, you know, if we look up singularity, we can say we can craft all 3 of these. And that means we got another quest done. Compact giant chance cube, reward bag. It seems to be the trend for all of these. It is a legendary, and we got jump boots and reinforced compound goggles. Alright. It's both Erebus loot that we're not going to be using. So I'll throw it into there. And basically we just have to repeat this process for all the singularities listed in here. And then in addition, there's a lot of singularities that aren't actually in the quest book. Because if you take a look, for example, at the Eternal Singularity. Okay, this has all these listed. You can say each of these are 9 long. So you're looking at 30, what is it, 33? Yeah, 33 singularities. And then we also have the Infinity Star that we're going to have to craft. Using a similar setup to this, but not this exact same setup. So basically we are going to have to do a bunch of these. But I believe all of these have EMC. I was looking through them earlier. I didn't see any that didn't have EMC. Now some of these are fairly expensive. Cyanite, 9,216. Plutonium is 18,000. I mean, some of these are probably going to take about a stack of bedrockium blocks. Okay? But at the end of the day, it's still easier. I mean, look at shiny, 36,000. So, emerald, 147,000. Very, very expensive. Very, very expensive. But Yeah, I mean, getting all these blocks, almost 1,000 blocks of bedrockium. So it's really, I mean, yeah, some of this stuff takes a lot of EMC, but at the same time, we're getting a ton of blocks of bedrockium. I do expect the emerald blocks to be very, very expensive, probably requiring a few stacks of bedrockium, but that's okay. We can pull it off. It'll be all right. Okay, I went ahead and set up a few more of these. So now we have, where did we leave off? Right here, block of quartz. So now we have lapis, and lapis, actually one block of bedrockium makes 6 lapis singularities. Okay, that one is super cheap. EMC of only 144 for a lapis block. And then over here, block of redstone, that is, one block makes 1 singularity. Lead, ferrous, silver, and tin, all of those, it's 3 blocks for 1 singularity. And then shiny is expensive, is actually 38 blocks of bedrockium for 1 shiny singularity. So I got all of those set up, and if we take a look at the quest book, like to get to shiny and to get to tin, we have to get copper. Okay, and I got to looking, copper does not have an EMC value for a block. However, what we're going to do is we're going to alter this setup right here just a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull off this neutronium compressor. And let me actually steal that translocator as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull off this energy condenser. And we're going to set this neutronium compressor down right here. And I'm going to stick with my staggered design. So we'll put an energy condenser right there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put down item translocator, item translocator, item translocator, just like that. And we'll go ahead and push this one in. And then we'll put glowstone on these. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tell this one here that it can make copper, or it can use copper ingots. Because bear in mind, these neutronium compressors can also make blocks, right? And so what we'll do is we'll just put copper ingot into there. And then let's just, well, I can't make a recipe yet, but it should be 3 blocks of bedrockium is going to make a singularity. So let's go ahead and get 3 blocks of bedrockium. And we'll throw it into there. And you'll notice it's starting to make copper ingots. They go into here and they make copper blocks. Copper blocks go into here and make our singularity. Now, I will say this one's going to take a little bit longer than some of the other ones to create it, due to the fact that it's having to double process. You know, it's not able to just pump out copper blocks. Okay? Now, what I could do, and what I think I'm going to do, is let's grab an extra set of these translocators, and since this is going to take so long, we'll just do like that. And we'll apply some glowstone to this. And will it not, maybe not. Yeah, now that I think about it, the neutronium compressor, I think can only accept items from the top, right? So, oh well. That's okay. Anyways, it's steadily making this singularity. It's gonna take a little while. But let's go ahead and we'll put down, I'm gonna need one more storage bus. Or not storage bus, interface. And then really, aside from that, like this setup is identical to the other ones. Okay, so the interface is going to go right there. And we'll go ahead and bring our dense black cable around. And then we'll just plug into that interface. And there we go. And then all we have to do is just set up our item conduits here to pull out. Feed into that chest. Insert. And we'll go ahead and say extract, always active. And so now we're really just waiting on the singularity to get made. Okay. It is going to take a while, though. It's going to take a very long while. But what I'm going to do is all of these, I'm going to set them up to have like X number crafted, And copper, I'm probably going to have it set up to make, like, most of these I think I'm going to set it at 32. Always on hand, but I think copper I'll probably set it to like a full stack. Like, keep a stack of Singularities on hand, just because they take so long to craft that I don't want to get caught like, oh, gotta wait on copper, you know. Because it looks like this is probably going to take about 15 minutes per Singularity, give or take. Maybe even a little bit longer. So, but that's fine. That's not a problem. Alright, so since we got that in place, now let's pop over to the moon. And looks like I actually don't have the moon set up, which is fine. And I can't remember if I mentioned it, but the copper will be 3 blocks. It has the same EMC value as tin. A lot of those have the same EMC values. So they're actually fairly easy to set up. But we were able to get all of our neutronium compressors thus far automated. So it's going to take a little while waiting on all that neutronium ingots, but that's okay. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to set one of our sets of Singularities up in this. And I think I'm going to go with just iron for right now. Just so we can see it kind of run. And let's also do lapis. Okay, so we'll grab our lapis Singularities. And we'll say keep 32 iron Singularities on hand. And keep 32 lapis Singularities on hand. And then let's also do like redstone, nether quartz, and we'll do gold, lead, silver, tin. I think that's probably about all the spaces that I've got at the moment. You can actually see it's starting to craft some of these for us. Oh, my count was actually right on. Okay, so we have keep 32 of all these different Singularities on hand. And now if we pop over to Venus, we should see a bunch of these running right now. And there you go. So you can say iron's running, quartz is running, lapis, redstone, lead, what's this one? Silver, and tin. Okay? I'm going to hold out on shiny for a little bit before I set that one in there, just because it's so expensive. It is so expensive. Now really, I guess I could do another energy condenser like right here, feeding down into this, and so on, and have like, you know, basically multiple ones feeding into this, but I think this will be fine. If the speed ends up being an issue, then I'll do something, but like I said, I'll keep a bunch of these on hand. Might even do 2 or 3 stacks, who knows. But now it's going to start keeping all these on hand for us, which is going to be great. Let's see, how many blocks of bedrock do we have? Almost 1,800. So they're still going up, which is great. But anyways, I mean, that's running. I'm happy with it. And, you know, it's something where we don't have to have it running all the time or anything like that. And we can kind of abuse those blocks of bedrock a bit. So, there we go. And now we just have to get, you know, I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to add more neutron collectors, because this isn't going to be enough for expanding that system. Plus, we're going to need neutrons for crafting purposes. I will say that aside from the neutronium compressors, most of the neutron uses aren't as hefty. So once we get through all those compressors, it'll be a little bit easier on us. But yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. It's a good step in the right direction. Let's go ahead and turn in the quests that we have real quick, or that we have, you know, that aren't copper, that aren't past copper. Lapis, redstone, lead, nickel/ferrous, and silver. All those are done, as well as 2 more a little bit later on. But we got 5 legendary reward bags. So first up we have a portal gun, fluivac and flux transfuser, a flamethrower, an ultimate bin, and then Zavisio boots with step assist. Remember when those boots were like actually relevant? a bit back in the past. But anyways, with that, I know it's about wrapping up point, so I am going to end it out here. Next episode, we will continue on with this. The main one of these that's going to be different from what we've already set up, I think, is the Infinity Star. So once we get to that, you know, we'll go over that on camera, because it's going to be a bit different. But I will try to, as I get neutronium compressors craftable, I'll try to add, additional ones onto this setup and everything. So, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and I feel like we're really getting somewhere within this. I will say one of the upcoming episodes, we're going to be doing some base work, Mars base, oxygen systems. I also want to take some time in an upcoming episode to do a bit of quest cleanup, because a lot of these quests and stuff would be very easy to knock out, like Gamma, and probably Zeta. So we will be doing that soon, and we'll probably knock out Lambda as well soon. So we'll pretty much have like Kappa, Mu, and Nu, which is, I think, just one quest or something. There might be more in there, I don't know, but it looks like just one. And if I recall, I actually looked at it, I think, in a creative world, and it's like get like 64 infinity ingots and 64, I don't know, awakened draconium or something like that. It's just like a bunch of top tier materials, and then we'll be working through the achievement book. So fun stuff, but we're still a pretty long ways from that, because the Avoridia stuff is still going to take a while. So, and all of our dire crafting and everything. But yeah. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button, and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already, to stay up to date with when new videos come out. And until next time, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time.